So what's better, having multiple streams of income or just having one? What's up guys, it's Josh Elbow, and in today's video I'm going to be going over a couple of my thoughts on when people say, like, when I see somebody on Instagram that's got like 8 different things in their bio that they own this business and this business and this business. Like, I kind of find it kind of comical depending on like who it is, if I know them specifically or not, but not from a judgmental standpoint, but definitely not someone I necessarily want to like work with or whatever, due to the fact that if you're focusing on 8 different business things at one time, and you don't have a team in place, which is what I meant by the whole, depending on if I know them or not, and if I've talked to them or understand like what systems they have in place, because the key word there is systems. If you don't have systems in place that to where you're running every single one of your 8 or 12 or whatever the amount of businesses you have in your Instagram bio online, then how could you be focusing on what, like the success of one and not have to worry about that one specifically? So my perspective on multiple streams versus focusing on one business. I did this a while ago. I was asked, I shot a video, and my friend at the time, I don't know that she loves me anymore, but my friend Nicole's hot tub with one of my old buddies too. And what we discussed in the video was, 1, venture capitalism, but 2, is it better to like focus on one business or like have a bunch of little like side hustles going or whatever? Depending on if you're in a job, let's say, so a 9 to 5 or a salaried job or like hourly, whatever it is. If you're in a job, I would say definitely have that side hustle, because the cash cow for you, in most cases, is going to be your job, paying you consistent pay every single week, every single whatever, whenever you work. So you know that you have that income coming in. Taking that income, of course, putting a certain percentage aside, which we'll get into later in the video, so that in the long term, you'll have that's not, you could kind of call it residual, but let's say market does 8 to 12%, whatever. So let's say 10% roughly, if you put it in an index fund. In an index fund, if I could get the words out of my mouth. Put it in an index and sit in there and then let it compound over time. That's going to create, especially if you, depending on what you put it in, but between index funds or dividend paying stocks, quick flips that you can do on the side, and maybe even Bitcoin. I'm looking at my board over here, so I got all my notes right there. But depending on what you put it in long term, that'll also create you another system in the long run to be paying you on a whatever basis you want it to be, weekly, monthly, yearly, whatever. So like I said, if you have a job, I would totally say do a little side hustle, whatever you want to do something on the side. Social media marketing for businesses is simple, which I do obviously with Summit. Maybe do day trading. Maybe do car detailing, work on cars, something like that. Even if it's something like you could do, let's say you're into golf and you want to go down to the local golf course or country club or whatever in your free time on the weekends, and maybe train people there. If you enjoy it, I would say even try and pick something that you would enjoy doing, because it's your free time. Like, yeah, I get the whole like the 7 to 2 like nose to the computer screen and like just work if it's an online thing. But if you can enjoy it, then more power to you, it's even better. The place that I had a challenge with this year was, so I've been doing Dip Lab for however long now, and with Summit technically it started in like January, February, but we didn't get LLC till March. So let's say March, long story short, I did more like in the first month of Summit than I did in Dip Lab like last summer. So I wasn't able to focus. Dip Lab did not do as well as I think it should have. It still did well this year, but it didn't do as well as I think I'm capable of, and I should have, because I'm putting so much time and focus into Summit, especially when we first started, and I had like, it was Wolf of Wall Street in my living room. It was awesome. It was funny. Like, we all had a good time. It was great. I loved it, but it didn't allow me to focus on Dip Lab, and I lost a lot of revenue there. What I'm doing to get past that is currently, I've been planning for the past like month or 2, maybe 3 months, let's say, with one of the guys that helps me with Dip Lab, James, and we're trying to get into a shop soon. So we're going to create the system where he can run that full time. That's my goal. If James is watching these videos, that's my goal. Get him in there full time so he can be running that. Create a system so that I don't need to be there, and then he's still happy because he's getting paid. I'm still happy because I'm getting paid, and it's a win-win in the sense that it's systematized. He enjoys doing it. It works out, while allowing me to still run Summit full time, as well as a couple other things I got going on, but we can't talk about that yet. as I said, the key word in that was systems. If you have the system in place to where you can have these multiple streams of income, so they're not all separate side hustles or side jobs where one day I'm detailing cars and the next day I'm mowing lawns and the next day I'm mentoring and the next day I'm doing social media for businesses and the next day whatever it is, which I've seen people do, and a lot of the times what I see happen is they'll maybe make like $100 with each thing in the first month, whereas wouldn't you rather make, let's pretend, baby numbers, wouldn't you much rather do 1,000 in your first month with focusing on one thing and then let that compound instead of doing a bunch of baby? Like, it's not worth your time. You can't be an expert in 20 different things when, if you were putting all that same amount of effort and time into the one thing, you could be able to scale it with the compounding growth way faster than if you were doing the 10 little things. For numbers example. Whatever situation you're in, if you are, whether you're in the job or you got your own small business, whatever it is, big business, you don't necessarily need to have a side hustle. What you could do though, what I like is, so dividend paying stocks, the quick flips, so maybe a car here and there and you'll make a couple thousand, or Bitcoin's doing really well. I've been waking up every day this week to more than minimum wage for the full day, so I can't complain about that. And of course, do your due diligence. This isn't me saying go buy Bitcoin. I'm long because I want you to be long too, because if you buy more, then the price goes up and then I get my return. That's my incentive. That's basic econ. That's not my fault. I think as soon as Amazon, quick tangent, as soon as Amazon starts accepting that as payment, this price is gonna skyrocket. So if you're gonna buy some, buy some now because it's only going up. Like, seriously. And then to end off this video, I want to hit one more time on what I talked about in the beginning, where putting a percentage of what you make away. Whether it's Tony Robbins, Ray Dalio, anyone I can name drop and talk about the long-term game of wealth. They're going to talk about income, so streams of income, as well as putting a percentage of everything you make away. There's one story about a guy who never made like more than $14,000 a year, but he put it 10% away, 10 or 20% away every year from when he was like 20 to 60 or whatever, compounded at 10%, and he ended up with like $70 million. Obviously, like, depends on the market. There's no guarantee that you're going to make that much, but everybody says they know compounding interest. And I'm only repeating stuff I'm hearing because I want you guys to hear it, whether you know it or not. And even if you do know it, I know it too, and I still kind of struggle with it, so I want you to not make the same mistakes that I'm making. But putting that percent away of everything that you make in the long term, at least you'll have that chunk of change. Because I want to say most adults and most millennials have less than like $1,500 in savings, which is scary shit. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. What's a good reason to? Because I'll make you a personalized video. So if you want a personalized video, ask me any question you can, whether it's about personal development or how to make a couple extra thousand a month, whatever it is, and I'd be happy to help. Until next time, guys.